how to play with a bad back. No strain whatsoever. There's two areas of a bad back. The golf swing that's causing you a bad back, no restriction whatsoever. Or you've just got a bad back in general. You can't create the speed you're looking for. What produces distance is speed. How do you then continue to play competent golf? Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Warren Bennett. We've got Trev down there and we're both enjoying this absolutely beautiful day we got here on the middle range at Chestfield. As you can see with the drone shot, wow. I'm tempted to take this off and have a t-shirt on, but I don't think I'm going to jinx it. We're back end of March, you're going to probably see this in April, but oh wow, everyone's playing golf with t-shirts on and it feels like the first day of summer. So let's hope it lasts, and wherever you are, I hope it's glorious sunshine like this too. So as you can see from the title, how to play with a bad back. And it's not just a back, it's anything. It's knees, hips. We all, into our latter years, we all have some problems, or if you've just got some mobility problems, how can you play competent golf still? Too many golfers I see move around too much. So, back camera set up. Trev's definitely got to move from the danger range and we'll get going. Okay everyone, so thanks very much for joining me. What a beautiful day here we got at Chestfield. Trev's out the danger range so we can get going. So there's a few things I can dip my toe into for this video. In terms of, there's a few ways that people firstly get a bad back playing golf. The elite golfer has what's called body stall. So they get the club a little bit jammed, and to get that club back to the ball from this inside position, you have to stop, because if you carry on rotating, you're going to hit it over to the right too much, obviously for right-handers. So you have to body stall. So that was my world for about 30 years. Getting it in here, using too much excess hands and arms, and they're stalling here. And that puts strain on the back here, the bottom of the back. And then we just basically give you some exercises that you can do, not only for that, but for general. So if you're not the golfer that is inside and too handsy, I'm going to give you some tips here that I've layered onto many golfers that I've given lessons to and played with. So first of all, that elite golfer who's a bit jammed inside, if this is you, two ingredients really, quite fast tracking. Number one, you need more rotation. Rotation is we need to get off our right side, so we don't want our right foot on the floor because that's going to cause strain. So obviously if you're feeling that bad back, you need to rotate. So if you rotate, you can see here, basically my right shoulder, knee, everything, my hip, all in line, no strain whatsoever. So I can actually move without putting too much pressure, because this reverse C look here, you've got here, puts that strain on. But like I said in the intro, if you're too inside and you do that, you're going to hit it over to the right, quite extreme actually. Firstly, you need to sort out your club path. So just feel your club path a little wider. It's a little bit of a cheat, but a little bit wider outside. Half swing, turn through. You can see there's zero pressure because I've got my knee up, got my foot right up in the air, and I've turned through. There's no body stalling whatsoever. So loads of little exercises in the net. Get your hands, get the club out, feeling, and turn through. It's a dual feeling. It's not number one and then two because it's going too quickly. So club out, turn through. Beautiful. And obviously if you want to continue off with the follow through, you can, but I quite like those little breakdown feelings because you can really get into the nitty gritty. You can release it a bit up here if you like, but most of all you're turning, you're open, there's no stopping whatsoever. But remember, you change that second domino, we call it, you've got to change the first one to kind of blend up with that. So one more, so get the club out to the green dot, club head out to the green dot, hands out in front of you if you're a bit jammy obviously. We'll get on to the next swing in a minute, and then turn. Basically it's your belly button, right hip, right knee, foot up in the air. Everything's turning. You can keep your head, keep looking down a little bit, but allow your head to move over to the left side. You're still looking down at the ball with your eyes. No restriction whatsoever. There's no strain on that back. Green dot, turn through. Okay, so if you're a golfer that's not inside and flicky and wants a little bit of that in their golf swing, because too many people move around too much, and if you've got a bad back and you're moving around, you've got your feet on the floor and there's too much strain here, you can't create the speed you're looking for. So what can we do to do that? So let's get our wrists moving. So basically point the club up, and use some wrists down here. You can see I'm not using my body yet, so I'm putting zero strain on my back. So I'm basically using wrists to hit the ball. What produces distance is speed, and what produces speed is getting your hands and arms working correctly. Too many golfers move around too much, no speed down there, and if you've got a bad back doing that, it's going to be even worse, isn't it? Really get some wrist education into your kind of internal release there. Beautiful. Up, up. So you've got my palm of my right hand facing that camera, and then the palm goes the other way. So it's that 180-degree turn that I talked about in the previous video, actually, or a couple of videos ago. And then we can introduce some arm swing. So you've got the wrist and you've got some arms. So you can elongate your arm swing. And now we can really introduce some speed down there, because you're just doing this and then continuing my arm swing whilst I'm doing it. I'm kind of letting the momentum go, letting the club pull me through, so we can hit shots like that. So pointing the club up still, feeling very wristy, a little bit more arm swing. And there we go. So I haven't really moved my body, probably 5% we'll say. Everything else is done with my hands and arms. Now you may say, well, I'm contradicting myself from the first half of the lesson. Well, there's two areas of a bad back. The golf swings that's causing you a bad back, so the golfer generally who inside flicky like we talked about, or you've just got a bad back in general, or you've got a bad knee, you've had a knee replacement, hip replacement. How do you then continue to play competent golf? So this is where the second half of this video is a little bit more hands and arms for the person who's generally just got some bad backs or some restrictions. Feet a little narrower just for the exercise, that stops you moving around too much. So I'm just going to stay nice and stationary, use my hands, arms and wrists. Haven't looked yet. See, the club head has pulled me all the way through to the finish. I can't stop it. The feeling of my hand doing this rotation, so it's not open, but we'd call it open. It's open facing you and then facing me. That's basically release. But obviously in a golf format, you now need to create some arm and wrist movement up and down to create the momentum. John Jacobs, clip the tops off the daisies. Point it up. Okay, we need to introduce a bit more arm swing to that. There we go. And that's, you don't really need anything more than that, because my club head's behind my head. A bit of momentum might take you a bit further. And then we're just going to clip it away. Head nice and still. There we go. If I had a bad back, obviously it's not going to go my full distance because I haven't introduced torso or anything like that, but I can still play competent golf. Okay everyone, so for the purpose of the video I have fast tracked it, but remember there's two areas. If the golf swing is causing you a bad back, you need the first half of this video. If you've just got a bad back in general and you're losing a bit of speed and want to create a little bit more arm efficiency, or new knees, or any type of restriction, then you need the second half of this video. You need less is more. You need less to go on here because obviously you can't move now because you've got restrictions, and you need more wrist and you need more arm. Don't neglect the wrist movement. If you were playing badminton, to move that shuttlecock, you've got to have that fizz down there. You can't swing like this. So it's a great analogy to be able to create some speed down there. And it's one of the foundations to my coaching. Less is more. Okay everyone, so for myself and Trev, looks like it's the end of the video now. We bid you farewell. I hope it's as sunny where you are as it is here. Northern Hemisphere, hope we're coming into some milder weather, and this is the sign of things to come. At last, it's been a long winter. Okay everyone, so for myself and Trev, and for all your support at home, if you're a YouTube member or Patreon member, thank you very much for your support. I couldn't do the majority of this without you, so thank you very much. Okay, so for myself and Trev, I think I'm off to sit down in the shade over there. We bid you farewell. Have a great golfing week, and we'll see you next time on the channel. Cheerio! One bouncer today, alright? Oh yes, that is a one bouncer too. Oh, he's run past it. Actually lobbed him.